His condition was considered critical, though he miraculously managed to survive. He reportedly had illegally boarded the plane to search for work in Japan. Authorities told the press he'd be facing deportation after being released from the hospital. Number 9. Andrei Sherbakov. Andrei Sherbakov enjoyed a 2-hour flight from Perm to Moscow while hiding in the plane's wheel well. Though he'd managed to survive minus 58-degree temperatures, his condition was considered critical when he was rushed to a Moscow hospital. First responders couldn't remove his coat and shoes, as his limbs had become stiff. After stabilizing him, the clinic refused to continue treating Sherbakov, and he was taken back to Perm. Due to severe frostbite, doctors had to remove his fingertips. With the risk of gangrene spreading further, it had become likely that Sherbakov would end up losing both his hands. Number 8. Victor Alvarez Molina. Victor Alvarez Molina received an urgent call from his wife warning him to leave Cuba at once. Though the threats against his life weren't revealed to the public, Alvarez Molina became desperate enough to hide in an airplane's landing gear as he attempted to leave the island. He managed to survive minus 55 Fahrenheit temperatures during the 4-hour flight to Montreal in 2000. Alvarez Molina suffered from oxygen deprivation and acute hypothermia. Fortunately, he managed to discover a leaky heat pipe that offered him enough oxygen to pull through. When he was discovered, Alvarez Molina was unable to speak and he was treated at a nearby hospital. After being discharged, he was granted refugee status and subsequently managed to get employment at a car dealership. Number 7. Hardeep and Vijay Saina. Hardeep and Vijay Saina were 21 and 19 years old respectively when they managed to hide in the nosewheel well of a Boeing 747 heading from New Delhi to London. Vijay didn't survive the 10-hour flight, which reached altitudes of 35,000 feet, while Hardeep miraculously managed to make a full recovery. Both brothers had escaped India after being accused of having ties to a Sikh militant group. This was a death sentence for the Saini siblings, so they paid their smugglers £150 to help them escape to Britain in 1996. They were told they'd be able to reach the luggage compartment, but were stranded in the wheelbay instead. Hardeep was allowed to stay after a long legal battle, and as of 2019, resided in Wembley with his wife and 2 sons. Number 6. Mario Stephen Amborita. In 2015, Mario Stephen Amborita rode a Garuda Indonesia flight in the landing gear, attempting to reach the country's capital, Jakarta. Shortly after the plane landed, the 21-year-old man was discovered stumbling on the runway. He was apprehended by the police and received medical treatment while he was detained. Amborita confessed to studying planes taking off and landing schedules for an entire year while planning to secure a free ride. His wounds were considered minimal, though he had to endure freezing conditions during the 2-hour-long flight. Amborita made a full recovery and faced a 1-year prison sentence if found guilty of endangering the Garuda flight. Number 5. Trevor Jacobs. Wanted man Trevor Jacobs was being charged with several crimes, including kidnapping, but he attempted to escape by hiding in an MD-80 landing gear. He was a former Antiguan police officer. His body was discovered during a routine inspection when the plane arrived at Trinidad. Jacobs was unable to survive the extreme conditions during the flight, and his body was identified with fingerprints and a photograph sent from Antigua. Jacob and his partner, Sylvester Joseph, were accused of abducting Donna Pietra Cooper, a 60-year-old senior resident. She was fortunately released unharmed soon after, and Joseph was charged with her kidnapping. Number 4. Marco Vinicio and Luis Manuel. Teenagers Marco Vinicio and Luis Manuel tragically died as they fell off a Boeing 767 during takeoff. They had attempted to travel as stowaways from Guayaquil to New York in February of 2018. The friends managed to hide in the plane's landing gear, but as the aircraft departed, they lost their balance and fell 1,000 feet onto the ground. That's almost akin to dropping from the tip of the Eiffel Tower. When airport staff rushed to the scene, they were shocked to discover 2 young men on the runway, along with a suitcase containing clothes and $20 in cash. Though one of the teenagers was already dead, the other was critically injured and passed away 10 minutes later before he could be treated by first responders. It's unclear if the 2 men had fallen after being pushed out of the compartment by the plane's gears or if they attempted to jump after having second thoughts. Authorities managed to identify the bodies, discovering they were cousins attempting to leave their native Ecuador. The plane was required to circle back 3 hours after takeoff. Number 3. Samuel Peter Benjamin. In 2007, Samuel Peter Benjamin hid in a Boeing 747 traveling from Cape Town to Los Angeles. He's believed to have stowed away in the plane a week before his body was discovered. After this initial flight, the plane continued traveling to new destinations, such as Hong Kong, Singapore, and Vancouver. Eventually, though, during a routine check, the pilot found the frozen corpse car preparing to return to Heathrow. Testing the body would take the coroner's office several weeks. Due to the condition it was found, authorities told the press they'd be repatriating the body after their investigation was concluded. Benjamin's family was shocked when they were informed of his death. His mother said that the young man had left without telling them where he was headed. Number 2. Emilio Dominguez. 23-year-old Emilio Dominguez planned to leave his native Honduras, desperate to find work abroad. This led him to illegally board a ride on an Iberia Airlines flight headed to Miami by hiding in the wheel well. When the plane landed, a ramp agent noticed Dominguez dropping from his left rear wheel, attempting to make an escape. He was weakened, however, and only managed to stagger away. Moments later, paramedics, police officers, and immigration officials arrived at the scene. Dominguez was visibly disoriented, but otherwise uninjured. He received medical attention at the scene, but his condition was stable enough that he didn't require hospitalization. This surprised first responders, as the young man was only wearing jeans, a short-sleeved shirt, and boots. Dominguez was taken into custody and informed he'd be deported back to Honduras on the following flight. Number 1. Fidel Maruji. In 2000, Fidel Maruji illegally boarded a plane leaving his native Tahiti, heading to Paris. The 24-year-old man had hid in the undercarriage of a Boeing 747 and gone unnoticed until the aircraft arrived at Los Angeles International Airport for a scheduled stopover. While the plane was being refueled, airport staff reported seeing a blanket sticking out of the compartment. On further examination, discovered the young man unconscious in the undercarriage. His body temperature dropped to 79 pounds. To put things into perspective, a person's body temperature was between 99 and 85. They're usually unable to walk, even drowsy, potentially, according to a student, between 85% or they may become unable to move or react to stimuli. Their blood pressure will drop and they might slip into a coma. Maruji was dehydrated and suffering from acute hypothermia. After being treated for his condition and making a full recovery, Maruji was prosecuted. He revealed that he wanted to travel to Paris to shake hands with Zinedine Zidane, a French soccer champion. Number 50. Anna Persson. Romanian teenagers who suffered with depression while attempting to make what she describes the ultimate self. The 18-year-old Michael was stationed at the laid out to take the picture. Fortunately, as she passed by the Persson, who took both of their eyes wide. She was shocked by her experience several times, and her body was deflated. The teenager was later pronounced dead to hospital in the northern city of Liège after suffering bruising bones and half the body. Number 14. Unnamed English hiker. An unnamed English hiker was fatally struck by lightning while traveling through Brecon Beacons National Park in Wales. It's believed that as he was preparing to take a picture, the heavy road surfaced in the attracting the electric boat. An unexpected thunderstorm gave air rescue little time to locate the hiker. By the time he was found, in spite of resuscitation attempts from medical providers, dead. Number 13. Madeline Davis. 21-year-old Instagram Madeline Davis floated her death 100 feet while taking a selfie at the Diamond Bays in December. British tourists had been backpacking entirely before she arrived in Australia in January 2020. After a party on Saturday night, Davis and a few of her friends went to the house, which were described as a hotspot for tourists who wanted to take pictures for their social media. Davis was hoping to capture a sunrise selfie and jumped a security fence in order to get closer to the cliff edge. A tragic mishap, however, would send the young woman plummeting to her death. The body was recovered from the water roughly 4 hours after the emergency services were called. According to her family, Davis struggled with her accidental social media fame and the negativity it generated. In the accident's aftermath, the family reportedly faced a wave of comments regarding her death, which prompted them to campaign against cyberbullying. U.S. trade circles. In October of 2011, 3 American teenagers died cigarettes at both 15 and Kelsey's sister Savannah were distracted while posing on the track. Savannah posted to her Facebook, "Standing right by a train. Haha, this is awesome." According to conductor John Anderson, there was no reaction from the girls, even as the horn was blaring. Once the emergency brakes are activated, it can take as much as a mile before the train track. 55 miles per hour, you come to a full stop. Anderson claimed that he and the engineer who was with him only saw the girls for about 12 seconds before the as the teenagers squeezed in for their final selfie. Lights from the train were ending their lives, and the scene in the background. Number 10. Shoo Shoo Lee.